everyone, thanks for Learn to Play Games. My name is Lance, and in today's video I'm looking at a brand new game coming to Kickstarter called Crimson Keep. It is a 1 to 2 player game that takes roughly 90 to 120 minutes to play, and is a competitive game where players are going to be competing, trying to build up their keeps and summon a dragon. Whichever player does that first will trigger the second part of the game, where that player is going to control the dragon, trying to destroy their opponent's keep, and their opponent is going to try to defend their keep and eliminate the dragon. Whichever player is able to do that is going to be the winner of the game. So in this video, I'm going to take you through showing you the main features of the game and then give you a sample turn to give you a rough idea how this one plays to help you decide whether or not this is one you want to back on Kickstarter. As always, if you find my videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we continue to grow, be able to produce this content. If you want to get notified anytime I drop new videos, also hit that notification bell, and that'll let you know whenever I'm dropping new stuff, as I'm constantly dropping new teaching, playthroughs, crowdfunding videos, and many others. So let's go ahead and head to the table, and we'll see what this one's all about. I do also want to point out before getting into the video that all the materials you see here are prototype materials and are subject to change, and will look a lot better than the final production copy of the game. The first thing I want to go over are the different cards that each player is going to be interacting with throughout the game. So you're going to have one main deck of clan cards, and these are going to be comprised of 3 different types of cards, which are going to have a little insignia up in the top corner of each card. You're going to have combat cards, cavern cards, and building cards. In the center of each card, on the top, is going to be the name of that type of card and the number that that card is within the deck, which will be used for certain things. Then you're going to have the main image of the card and the description on the bottom of its ability. Now each card is going to be double-sided, with one side being the inactive side, which is going to have your color banner on it, and the other side is going to be the active side, which will have the red coloring on it, and will also give you an ability at the bottom of the card that if you meet, you'll be able to do different things, or you can choose to use that ability as an action and trigger it to take advantage of that ability, and then you'll flip the card back over to its inactive side, and at a later point you can flip it back over to its active side by taking that action. And there's going to be a whole plethora of different types of cards for this. For example, with building cards, you have the Fire Lancer, or the Black Gate, the Black Mirror. On the cavern cards, you have cards like Food Seller, or the Blacksmith, or the Kragans. Then on the combat cards, we have a Lava Worm, or the Dragon Cannon, or the Morgoth Troll. So all kinds of different options, and this is just a small sampling of those. Throughout the game, each player is going to have 2 main boards that are going to keep that player's area organized and the player will be using throughout the game. The first board I want to talk about is the clan board, and this is going to be broken down into 6 different sections. The first section is the Battle Tactics section, which will hold your Battle Tactics deck. This deck is going to give you different abilities you'll be able to use during combat that you will be able to benefit from, and there's all kinds of different cards that'll be in that deck. Next is the Barracks, and with the Barracks it can hold up to 3 combat cards at any time, and from the Barracks you'll be able to deploy a combat card onto the main field, as you're going to see later. Next is the clan deck, and this is going to hold your clan deck that is going to contain all kinds of different things, such as different buildings, different combat cards, which are monsters, or all kinds of other things in it. You'll also find cavern cards in here, and those cards will go into the next section here, but you'll have a ton of different options within that deck. From there, then, you're going to have those cavern cards that I was talking about. Let me find one real quick. So, for example, with the Blacksmith, that each one of these cards has an ability when it is activated that will give you some sort of ability that you'll be able to use. For example, with this one, you have Sharper Edge. You can place a 2 attack battle token or a 2 defense battle token on this card, and then you'll be able to use that at different points in combat. Then you'll have your clan deck discard area and your summoning cards, and this is going to have 3 very powerful cards in it that you're going to need to have out in your castle at some point throughout the game, which includes the Dragon Crystal, the Clan Leader, and the Sorceress. And each, again, these are double-sided, with one side having the inactive side and the other side having the active side, which will give you an ability. The next board that a player is going to be using is the clan summoning board, and the whole point of the game is to be the first player to summon a dragon and destroy your opponent's keep. In order to do that, you first must summon the dragon, and you're going to do that by completing different objectives that are going to unlock ruins that will get you points that will move your gauge up on the summoning track to determine what kind of dragon you can summon. And each time you complete a ruin, you're going to place the token in that slot. You're going to gain a number of points based on the value above the different categories. And this is going to be randomized at the beginning of the game, so each player may have different values for these. And you're also going to have other bonuses that are going to lie within some of these as well. And there are 4 different categories. You have building ruins, which will give you points based on different objectives that you have for completing your keep. Next is combat ruins, which you're going to gain for doing different combats, being able to destroy an opponent or removing cards or whatnot. Then you have your alignment ruins, and these are going to be by completing different objectives within your keep by placing key buildings in adjacency to each other. Finally, you have clan ruins, and again, these are going to be completing different things on your clan board, such as having your barracks full or having 3 active cards in your cavern, and so on. And as you do so, each time you complete one of these, you're going to be moving your tracker up and slowly moving towards these little dragon heads. And there are going to be certain things you'll be able to complete in the game, as you're going to see next, that will move these dragon heads down, making them easier to obtain. And that will determine the level of the dragon that you can summon. And the final board you're going to be using is your action track board, and this is going to be under the main game board itself. Each player is going to have an action track board that is going to track the different actions you take during your turn. The first time you perform a particular action during your turn, you'll get to move your token up 1 space on that track. Now, if you repeat that action during the same turn, you will not move up the gauge. So in this way, it encourages you to take different types of actions during your turn. When a gauge is full, it'll unlock a special bonus ability or a choice for a bonus ability that you can take. For example, with this one, I can either choose to place a building card, or I can move my mighty dragon 1 space. So as you saw previously on the summoning board, I could choose to move the mighty dragon head 1 space back, making it a little easier to get to that dragon. And each one of these gives you a different bonus. And if you have all of them completed, you can choose to spend all of them to be able to move any dragon head up to 2 spaces instead. Another thing I want to show you is how combat works in this game. So for this example, I'm going to be using 2 combat cards, and I put them up here. Normally they're going to be on the base level, but just for this example, I'm going to show you them there just to make things a little bit easier. So at this point, when one of the players initiates a battle action, that player becomes the attacking player. So we'll say that the lava worm is the attacking player. Once that has been declared, then there's 4 steps that the players are going to follow in order. First, each player is going to secretly choose a battle tactics card. So I'll go ahead and place those there. From there, then it's going to move to the defending player. So the defending player can choose to spend any tokens for defense that player has, as long as there's a defense token shown underneath his name on his battle card. So I do. So I'm going to go ahead and throw on 3 battle defense tokens. Then it moves to the attacking player, who can do the same thing with attack tokens. So I'm going to go ahead and punch up a couple on there. Once that's done, then each player is going to roll a d6 and add those values together. So right now my defense is going to be 8 versus my attack strength of 6. Then we're going to reveal our battle tactics cards. All right, so my attacking player has unexpected aid. For every card in your hand, add +2 to your total. So I have 2 cards in my hand, so I'm going to add 4 to that total, which is going to bring me up to 10. My other player is going to roll an additional die and determine that bonus. Oh, another 5. So my defending player has held the line. So once the total has been determined, the winner is going to destroy the loser's card under most circumstances. So the lava worm is going to be removed from the game. And then the winning player's card is going to be removed and added to that player's discard pile. and then all the rest of the stuff will be cleared. Moving into the example, first off, I do want to explain again that the game itself is going to be broken down into two different parts. The first part is where both players are going to be building up their keeps, trying to summon a dragon. Now, once one of the players summons a dragon, you're going to move into the second part of the game. Well, that player, whichever player summons a dragon, is going to try to destroy the other person's keep, and the other person will try to defend their keep from the dragon. In this situation, both players still have a chance at victory if the player playing the dragon is able to destroy his opponent or her opponent's keep, then that player has won. If the other player is able to defend the keep and destroy the dragon, then that player has won. So moving into it now, each player to start the game is going to draw 5 cards from their deck, choosing 3 of them to be their starting hand and discarding the other 2. From there, then it'll move into the player's turns. During a player's turn, each player will start their turn by choosing to do a free move action. If you have a combat card out on the board, you can choose to move it 1 space towards your opponent. If you do not, then you simply will skip this step, or if you do, you can choose not to move if you want to. So from there, then it moves into the main part of your turn where you're going to be choosing 6 different possible actions, and you're allowed to perform 2 actions during your turn. It can be the same action if you want, it just depends. So moving into this player's turn, I'm going to go ahead and start with, I'm going to go ahead and choose a place action, and I'm going to go ahead and choose to place this Fire Falcon into my barracks so that I can place him out during a later turn, and I'll move that marker up 1 space. So from here, then I would choose my second action, which could let's go over these real quick. So the first one is place. As you saw, I can place a card in the barracks, in the cavern. I can start building my keep up. Those are all part of place. A replace action allows you to take a card from an area and replace it with another card, such as a building in a keep, or in the barracks if you want to place a different combat card in there, and so on and so forth. The next type of action is a flip action, which allows you to flip a card. So let's go ahead and say I had this building card out here, and I chose a flip action. I could choose to flip this from its inactive to its active side. A draw action would allow you to draw cards from your deck, replacing your hand. A special ability action allows you to activate a special ability. So again, going back to that previous example with the Great Hall, if it was on its active side, I could choose to use its special ability, which says after flipping this card inactive, you may perform 2 additional actions. So that is a special ability that I would trigger. The final option is a battle. If I have a battle card out or combat card, and I'm in a position where I can do a battle either against an opponent's combat card or against its keep, then I can trigger a battle by doing that action. Okay, so as my second action here, I'm going to go ahead and choose to do another place action and place this building out. So because I did the same action, I'm not going to get to increase my gauge again this turn, as I've already taken an action that has moved that particular gauge up. But if I would have chosen, for example, to do a flip action, if I had something out there I could flip, then I would have moved that second gauge up 1 space. All right, that is my turn. So now it would pass over to my opponent to start their turn. So with that player, let's go ahead and start off by doing a place action. And I'm going to go ahead and place this black gate, and I can choose any one of these bottom slots. So I'm going to go ahead and place it there. And I am going to go ahead and do a flip action to flip this card over. All right, and that is my turn. So then it would pass back over to the next, or the other player, to take his or her turn again. And this is going to continue going until the players are able to complete the different objectives by completing ruins, which will move their gauge up, slowly making their way towards summoning a dragon. Now, in order to summon a dragon, you must have enough points to get to that dragon head, and you must also have all 3 of your summoning cards out on their active sides. Once both of those conditions are met, you can choose to summon a dragon. Now, a player that reaches a low-level dragon, such as this weak dragon here, can choose to pass at that point, trying to make their way towards a stronger dragon, as that is going to be important for different obliterate cards and other things that you'll see throughout the game. The last thing I want to take you through is what happens at the end of the game. So once a player summons a dragon, so in this situation we're going to say the yellow player summoned the dragon, and the other player is going to have to try to defend his or her keep. So from this point moving on, the dragon player will perform an attack, and then if the keep is still standing, any part of the keep, then the defending player will get to take one action, and then it'll move back to the dragon player. Now, as the dragon player, you potentially have two options for an attack. If you have any obliterate cards, which is going to be based on the strength of the dragon, then you can use one of those cards to try to attack your opponent's keep. Otherwise, the other option is a fire attack. With this one, this is the one I'm going to go through. So in order to do a fire attack, you're going to attack the closest section of the keep, and you're going to be rolling 4 dice. Now, the defending player has to choose if he or she is going to choose to use any keep defense cards that player might have, which will be determined during the setup portion of this final section. From there, then you're going to determine the total defense of that column of the keep. You're going to get 2 points for every active card. You're going to get 0 points for any non-active card. So if, for example, this card was on its non-active side, it would be worth no defense. You're going to get 3 points for each non-active summoning card and 4 points for each active summoning card. So in this example here, I have 2, 4, 6, and 4 more points for 10 points total on this column of my keep for its defense. And I'll go ahead and use a keep defense card. So each one of these cards is double-sided, so I get to choose which side of the card I wish to use. So this one, for example, is +1 for every active card in your defending keep column. So this one would give me 4 more points, or I could choose to remove the highest double from the attack. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. So I'm going to place this down. From there, then the attacking player is going to roll 4 dice to determine its attack strength. All right, so I've got 6, 11, 12, 13. So in that situation, then I would go ahead and reveal my defense card, and I got the +1, so I have a total of 14 to 13. So as long as I have higher defense than my opponent, then I have fended off the dragon and will do a damage to it, flipping over one of its cards. But let's go ahead and say instead that the dragon ended up rolling better than me, or equal to or better than my defense. In that situation, then the entire column is going to be destroyed. And from this point moving forward, I will not be able to place any new cards out in that column. So from there, then it would move over to the defending player to take one action, which again could be any number of actions. I just, again, cannot build there, but I could potentially try to start building one of these columns up a little bit more, or I could flip this card to give me some more points in defense or whatnot. Well, I hope the video helped you in learning more about Crimson Keep and whether or not this is one you want to add to your collection. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please post those in the comment section below, or swing by the Kickstarter page and drop any questions you have there as well. I'm sure the creator would love to hear from you and is more than happy to answer any questions you have. Until next time, I'll see you later.